Are we good?
Hello, guys.
I don't think she got that in there.
Welcome to the podcast with the Cunning Buffoons. My name's Dylan.
I'm Andrew.
I'm Mikola.
Great.
You androgynous weirdo.
Watch this.
What the heck was that all about?
You also like your brother.
I don't have a brother. Stupid idiot. God, this guy doesn't really know math. So if you take 4 from 5, you have 4.
What?
Think about it that way.
Wait a minute. So what you're saying is you're the person who stole the 4 of the 5.
That's my math theory.
That's your math theory, so you're a thief.
No, theft is. I'm a theft. not
I used to
thief.
give safety meetings like this.
I'm a theft.
A theft?
I be thefting things all the time.
Yeah, you freaking pyro, you.
Not actually. I kind of hate stuff. Like when I clean. Like I'll just like get in the mood and I'm like, I'm gonna clean my room, and I'll just like end up filling up a contractor bag, and I'll be like, and then like a week later I'll be like, dang, I actually kind of needed that.
I know how he feels.
That's why I hate cleaning the shop and throwing away like all the old stuff. That's because like you get rid of a bunch of stuff, and the second you do,
Okay,
you're
it
like,
depends. Sometimes it's like, okay, that's a Ford Ranger AC. We haven't owned a Ford Ranger in 10 years. Throw it away. We don't need the Ford Ranger AC.
it ain't been 10 years, it's been 8.
Round
Brother.
up to 2. Then might as well get in 10.
It can't. 8 is such an uncomfortable number.
8 is an
Exactly.
uncomfortable number.
So you have to give it a year, and then like you can't just be 9. Can you? Can you really just be 9? So,
So are you one of those weirdos with numbers?
well, like think about it.
I can't say anything.
5'11" is such a weird height. You can't be 5'11".
Exactly.
That's just
You can be.
no. You can't
No,
be.
you
So
can't,
so
yeah, it's
if you
weird.
round it up, you're obviously 6 foot. Okay, but 6 foot is uncomfortable too.
Same.
So,
So you're
Very.
technically 6'5".
no, I'm 6'3".
No, 6'3" is a weird number.
Actually, it's not because it's
You're
divisible into
6'2".
itself. 3 goes
6'2"
into
is better.
6.
6'2"
6'2" is better?
Yep. You go
Okay.
down.
Well, I'm 6'2" and a slouch.
Fair enough.
So
And he's
like,
always slouching.
I'm not always slouching. Sometimes I stand up tall and proud, and then
So
my
like-
back hurts and I slouch again.
So like, are cough drops good for you? What's
Sure,
the study
you
on
have a
cough
cough.
drops?
What's the study on cough drops?
Yeah.
I mean, if they were approved by the American FDA, probably terrible for you.
Like keep me from coughing like
Well,
for like 2 minutes.
Pretty sure anything in your mouth will keep you from coughing. You could just suck on a Tic Tac if you want.
I thought you was fixing to
Yeah,
say
that's
something.
that's what I was
I was fixing to say, yeah, it keeps me from coughing. Come here, woman.
Oh wow!
That's what I thought you were gonna say too, Dylan.
I was gonna say something else, but now I stopped
All right.
myself.
I know it's early, but trash can Kim.
Wow.
Hey, you are slouching today. You need to have one of my gummies.
So like,
Slouching? I don't think you mean slouching.
Slacking, slouching, goofing off, slowing down, whatever.
And go.
we need motorcycles.
Did he make
think
good
that was your
job.
first
Not
one.
only did I make it,
That
I
wasn't his
just,
first one.
No, not as
I
first.
just did this. See?
So- We need motorcycles.
They're right there.
No, it's too slow.
And I
Yeah.
still am trying to figure out why that one has air, spark, and fuel, but will not
Right.
fire.
It will not fire.
It's got compression. There is something in the CDI box that is cutting it off, but I got to figure out what wire we didn't plug up right.
No, I think I want a crotch rocket.
I think I'm gonna go cruiser, even though I really want a crotch
Dude,
rocket. But I think I wanna go
Cruisers are
cruiser.
where it is at.
I like an Indian.
He wants an Indian Scout.
You want an
Indian?
Indian?
Indian Scout.
It's nice looking bikes, man.
I know.
Nice looking
love-
bikes. All right, I'm not in a safety meeting, so I can't do this.
No, I want.
It's what we used to do to
I
all the
want a
new recruits.
CBR.
CBR? 1,000 or 600?
He can only get 600 right now.
Well, I mean, that's the 600 I used to drive. It was an F4i. It was 1999. And that thing would do over 220.
Yeah.
But it was custom. Stock, they'll do like 170, 180, I think, or something like that.
I don't really ever want to go over 100.
Dude, you got to do it at least once.
Yeah.
Well, I as I want to be able to get on an interstate and actually get on an interstate.
I feel I can't. My bike can't get on.
I know that feeling. Yeah.
That thing.
The problem is some of them that can get on the interstate, like at 1300, I had at Royal Star, like it'd do 100-mile-an-hour in third gear, and like it wanted to do 100-mile-an-hour in third, and it was a big old cruiser, but like I never got it to fifth, got it to like 145, 150-mile-an-hour in fourth, and it was still just climbing, just eating it away, and I was like, this thing is terrifying, and I like fast bikes, but it was so big that like when it got on it, like it would rip it,
Heck yeah.
and
So
it
if
was
You should have
loud.
kept
If I do a crotch rock,
the Suzuki.
Kawasaki.
My back couldn't drive it anymore, son.
I
couldn't.
could have.
No, you can't. It was an 800.
The cops don't have to know that.
Until they pull you over.
They ain't pulling me over.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a good driver.
That's what I said in my truck to the cop. Pulled me over, stepped out front, and was like, could have swore you had a headlight out. It was like, I probably did, bro. This truck's older than crap. He was
Man.
killed, though.
And then me, Malachi paid for it afterwards.
Disappointing. I think if I can go out of the truck and fix it in front of you, you should take your piece of paper and put it back in your pocket.
Well, they still document it sometimes.
I mean, he was like, you have a clean record.
Yeah.
But
With
like,
me,
at
they
the same
always
time,
ask.
someone was talking about how a cop pulled him over for speeding, saw that they had like just looked in the car, and then was like, all right, you have a nice day. Can they do that?
They're
Uh-huh.
probably looking for something.
They can do whatever they want, really. Like, it is their discretion. Like, I got clocked at 119 and a 30, you know, because I made him laugh. He was like, you need to slow down and go home, and then laughed all the way back to his car. Like, so it is the cops. I had one pull me over at 70 and a 45 one time. And he was like, you been drinking? And I was like, all freaking day. And he's like, do what? I was like, yeah, man, I got to have Mountain Dew. Like, caffeine keeps me awake. And he was like, were you in a hurry? I'm like, I didn't think I was in a hurry, but honestly, I'm half asleep because I've been working 7 days a week, 16, 17 hours a day. Like, I'm trying to get home, get some sleep. And he was like, dude, slow down, go home. You know, so like, it's completely,
Well-
and if you're chill with them, well, they're chill with you 99% of the time.
I'm not trying to go to my job and not get paid for it.
Oh, you don't want to, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. But he works in a soup kitchen for the people listening. So, like, a lot of the people that work with him are there doing community service, but, like, he gets paid to be there.
Yeah, I'm not trying to go to my job and not get paid to go to my job.
You're going to wind up quitting, and then you'll do community service. Like, I'm back, guys, washing dishes.
I
Most
don't
likely.
want to quit, but at the same time, they've got to work on their hours
Not enough.
or spread their week out. We different. Give me first half of the week. Give my coworker the last half of the week.
No way, it's 2 days in a row.
Yeah, that way you can get a job, and you don't have to bounce your schedule. That way I could have 2 jobs, but I'd still be, you know, I'd know I'm working soup kitchen
Monday, Tuesday,
Monday, Tuesday.
or Thursday, Friday.
Yeah.
Either way, yeah, that makes sense.
Or get rid of my coworker, give me all 4.
Or vice versa.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to get rid of me, get rid of me. I'm a better dishwasher and more efficient, but you know what? If you want to fire me, go ahead. I can make so much more money.
We've got to get a basketball goal.
Because the thing is, like, I don't know.
Don't be trashing people, man.
I'm
It's
not
all right.
trashing. I don't trash anybody. I text someone the other day. I don't think my worst enemy deserves anything bad to happen to them. I think that everybody deserves a chance to, I don't know, change. And I don't
Yeah,
I
but,
don't
like-
think I have to be friends with anyone, but I don't think anything bad should have to happen to them.
That's a hard part for people to understand, though. Like, if I don't want to be around you, or if I've cut you out of my life, family, friends, you know, acquaintances, I don't care. I don't think any ill of you. A lot of the people that people would probably consider, like, I should think of as enemies, I don't. I pray for them every day. Like, I want nothing but the best for them to find peace and everything, but, like, we don't mesh.
I want
So, like, you stay over there, I'll stay over here. We're both chill. I don't have no ill will towards you. I don't harbor any resentment, nothing. But, like, you suck. I don't want to be around you.
Fair enough.
Like,
that's
you know,
what
drama sucks. People that, like, come up with drama all the time, like, they're always something going on. Like, ugh.
that's just how that's what a few of my friends will be like, "Oh, let's do this." The one particular, they'll be like, "Let's bomb their house."
Golly.
And I'm like, Why would you wish ill upon someone, even if they? I mean, like reverse the situation. Let's put it in X scenario. You don't want them talking about you like that. Why are you talking about them like that?
Yeah.
What's
And
the
but
point?
see, and then there's
What do you
actions.
gain?
There's actions that I think do require, like, should be able to be
And you know, it's
remedied. But like the problem is the petty stuff that people get all drama about is like retarded.
it's not hard to forgive. And I'm not telling you should forgive.
You should.
Well, not like instantly is what I'm saying. I'm not
No,
telling
yeah.
you should just go and forgive them. I'm saying you shouldn't bear any resentment against them or wish any ill will against them, because in the end, there's no point.
It's a saying about bitterness.
Yeah. But the problem is the people say that saying about bitterness and they're like, all it does is poison you. Unless you're the type of person who is overtly violent and your bitterness comes out upon other people.
Mom.
But that's not bitterness. That's vengeance. That's different.
See, but
It's not necessarily vengeance. Like I don't like I didn't.
If you're
want-
doing it to get revenge, if you're harboring
good?
ill will, yeah, you're good. That's woo.
rim shot,
Two.
rim shot, rim shot.
Is that his first
think
one?
that's
And
No,
my
that's his
second.
third.
I thought this was first.
third?
The third.
Oh, we
That
all
was
suck.
your three.
I'm gonna be the only one that misses it too. Yep.
Oh,
I got lucky. It bounced in.
that's hey, you made it in. It
It's
doesn't
a
matter.
rim shot. It's a rim
Yeah.
shot. That's what I'm talking.
What
Anyway,
are they?
anyway.
You know, family. Sorry,
But no,
Anyway, just
there's a difference
matter if you
between
win by an inch
vengeance
or a mile.
and
still win.
bitterness.
I think it's okay to be bitter too. I just think that I just don't see any point in sitting there trashing someone or talking ill will against them.
Well, that's being bitter.
But no, it's not. You can be bitter.
I don't
Inside?
think you know. What
No, you can be. But if you're going around talking to people saying, "Oh, I want to blow their house up,"
Are you
that's
bitter?
that's ill. That's wishing something bad upon them. Being bitter, takes a minute. As long as you're keeping that.
As long as you're stuffing it all down and concealing it, you're just fine.
I'm just talking about like going around spreading your bitterness.
Well, but that
There's
is
no.
the reason that has gotten out of hand. Like I showed her a thing earlier with one of Bert Krishner, a comedian I like to watch, but he was talking about like getting snatched out of the car and beat up by a grown man for cussing him out in traffic.
Is that the machine? Or is that somebody else?
I think it's somebody else. I don't know. They make all
This
them.
one?
Is he a fat dude?
Yeah, but he's a freaking tank. Like he
He's not
nonstop goes.
fat.
He's redneck muscle. He's the guy that the Van Wilder movie, the National Lampoon's Van. I think it was National
That's him.
Lampoon. Yeah,
Yeah, that's the machine.
Yeah.
He has a Russian story. That's the most fun.
yeah, dude, he's hilarious. But like Van Wilder, the movie they made about the college party animal was apparently like he sold the rights to his life. That was his college. Like they made, and like he's never watched it, but like I like him because almost all the other comedians that talk about him, like he's hilarious. He's a man's man, but like he does whatever he wants. But like he's a genuinely, from what I've seen, like I don't know him personally, but like is presented by a lot of people as a kind-hearted man.
He's cool.
Like that
I like
just
him.
How did we get here?
I don't know, but hey, we're here.
We were. I feel like there was something you were gonna tie in, but you lost track.
Bitterness.
We were talking about.
Yeah, I
bitterness,
did.
and then you got to
Did
this
he come
comedian.
into
How
the?
I feel like you were gonna tie something, and then you just.
He got
did
the
it.
crap beat out of him when he was 16
yeah. We was talking about the bitterness
and
and
he was
the
driving.
like. There are certain things like you see people running around like spreading crap all the time, and they're constantly trash talking. It's because we don't get punched in the face anymore. He's talking about cussing someone out in traffic. They pull him out of his car window and whoop his tail in, and he's like, I don't talk trash to this day, like 40 years later or whatever, about two people in traffic because I know better now. And like when society, like men quit getting punched in the face for being stupid.
Well, that's another thing with traffic. I don't know. I try not to get worked up about it because I don't know what their day's been like. I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah,
I don't know what they're doing.
I try to be like that, but like when you're driving a truck and a trailer, and not just a tractor trailer, like you've got a big F-350 with no trailer, or if you've got massive vehicles, these big freaking Tahoes and stuff, and you just drive around like there's no one else in the world around, you are literally a danger to society.
I turn now. Have you seen that?
No. But if you think about it, like when you're driving on the road, who are the worst drivers you see? The ones that almost run people off the road, the ones cutting people off, pulling out in front of people. It's the people with the largest, most dangerous freaking vehicles. And it's like to be on the road with other people, you have now went outside your realm You are now interacting with everybody else's realm. Yeah, that's how they drive. But the problem is, when you drive like that, like I get ill because it's like you're endangering everyone around you for no other reason than the fact that you just don't care about anybody.
Yeah.
Like I don't care. Like you drive into a tree and die. That's fine. That's your prerogative. You're a grown person or you're an autonomous person. I don't care. But like when you all of a sudden, like the guy that was coming at my wife the other day, he's coming out of a parking lot, probably rolling 55, 60 in a parking lot. He's got a giant truck and a big trailer loaded with 3 lawnmowers. He makes eye contact with her and then keeps driving. I have to sling it sideways and ram the gas and drop a gear and literally spin donuts in the middle of a 4-lane to get out of the way of this guy that's fixing to run us right over.
That was literally like God just like just
It's the only
kept
time.
us
It's the
safe.
only
The
time in the
truck
past
didn't
15
flip.
years
Nobody
I've ever
was
seen
in
that
the
intersection.
road at that time.
It was right in front of Landers Tires
crazy.
by Co-op.
Mhm.
I had to do five or six donuts before because the tire blew and my foot got hung in between the gas pedal and the side of the floor because it's a tiny little Nissan. And so like the gas is rammed down and I'm doing donuts in the middle of that road, all through that
the
road
white truck.
in the Nissan.
Okay.
But
Nissan
that
Guy's
Nissan.
truck.
how many times would I be able to do donuts across all 4 lanes in the turning lane in that area and not get killed?
There's not even a turning lane.
Yeah, there's no turning.
It's not even. It's
Yeah.
just a 4-lane highway.
But I mean, I'm sitting in one of the busiest places on the planet in Shelbyville, and then like this guy tries to kill her.
Shelbyville,
I have to go out of the way.
Kentucky.
But that's what I was telling her is like this happens to me all the time. There are like hundreds of instances a week to where I literally have to dodge people or run my vehicle in a dangerous situation to get out of the way of getting hit by somebody else.
Yeah.
Like, just pay attention.
I mean,
Pay attention, pay attention, pay attention. I know what you're talking about.
I'm not saying I always pay attention. Like the other day, I had sunglasses on when I was driving to work. I got so tired and everything was dark. I was like, absolutely not. I'm never driving with sunglasses again.
You don't drive with mine?
I will fall asleep. Especially just, I don't know. I was really tired that day and everything was dim.
And it's
I
also
love driving.
it's a route you take a whole lot too.
You know, I don't know.
Like a lot of times when you're close to home, when you're on the road, you drive a lot. Like I think,
That's where most accidents occur.
yeah, most
right?
accidents like 5 miles of home. It's because you're comfortable.
Mhm.
Your brain shuts off. Like I used to get up and drive an hour and 20 minutes to work, and not remember getting in the truck and how I got to the parking lot. Like I'd go into such autopilot that like I'd sleep the whole way to work. Probably not good.
I do catch
alright.
myself speeding, but that's about it.
In
And
that
not
truck,
not like big speeding. Like it likes to go 50.
yeah,
It does not like 45.
no, it hates 45.
It likes 50.
It doesn't like 30. It likes 38.
It doesn't like 45. It doesn't like 55. It likes 60. But it likes 50.
Yeah, it's 50 or 60 to 65.
And there's nothing over 65.
Oh, no,
unless
you can-
egg it.
You can get it up to 80, but then if you let off the gas at all, the engine will start stripping all the belts, and they'll start screaming because like it's old. We probably should give it. If it was like a family member, we would have it in hospice right now. We would all standing around like waiting for it to breathe its last.
Just pull the plug.
We did. We put new ones in.
Oh, fair enough.
It's a car, Dylan.
B slash. What is that?
I don't know, one of your daggum names.
What's that? Is that the one with Tess?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Bonus episode. That's what it says.
Ah.
B-
It just
E.
says that's a slash.
It's an E.
No, it's not.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Is that an E, Dylan?
I can't see it.
Is
But-
that is that a E, Dylan?
Is it a half?
Yeah, it's a C. I mean, it's
It's like what? Oh, great.
it's a backwards C. I'm sorry.
That is not an E. Hang on,
Okay, so in this room
me see.
alone,
Let
we
me see.
probably have autism, ADHD, dyslexia.
Okay, it's just it's on every
which
single.
camera are we
Look
on?
at 1, 2, 3, 4.
Which camera are we on?
The same one you wanted on. in the
Just have him
thing.
put it on the one right
I'm
behind
just
you.
saying. All right.
I can put it on the one right
Look.
behind you. Yes.
Look, it's a backwards
no,
C.
'cause you're-
I'm sorry.
No. Okay, but look at the 1, 2, 3. That is not an E. It's not an episode. But
I
look
can't
at
see
the
it.
1, 2, 3. They all have those little. It's not an E.
I mean, you did say it was an
I
E.
did, but I couldn't
Okay.
see it.
It looks like you were trying to do mathematics.
No, look at
It looks like the greater and less than symbol.
No, it's a
She's like, that B is greater than this.
it's a
It's not a E.
It's not a C either.
It's not a C. either.
What? It's a 10? Are you
so
trying? It's an umbrella.
Because,
It's
like,
an umbrella that
Just
is turned
B, just
sideways.
bonus.
it's a
Okay,
it's
bonus.
Parentheses?
yes.
That's what I'm.
But the one
Oh.
has a parentheses and then a period. The two has a parentheses and a period. All of them do that because
B-E dot Mike.
be.mike. That's our new website. be.mike.com.
So-
What?
no, it's not. Don't look it up. I don't know what it is.
It makes something crazy, you know. My
Exactly.
favorite Bible verse is, "Lo, there's a painful disease in my loins."
Thank you for the laughs, Tim Hawkins.
So
Had a lot of good laughs out of that man over the years.
Yeah.
So you were asking me, like, what on TikTok have you been seeing about the crazy people throwing rocks at people because they're like, "Don't take us to our country because it sucks so bad that we don't want to leave your country."
you see that?
Yeah, I sent you a bunch of them. To TikTok.
Oh, you didn't.
Yeah, dude. I swear I did.
We've been out of service all day.
Oh.
We've been hanging lights and shut up.
Shut
We've
up,
been out of
man.
service all day.
No.
Me and Malachi did not have phone service.
His Android has been out of service all day.
Fair enough.
Don't allow.
We're gonna have to like figure out how to get the screens of his phone on the.
Keep on.
There's nothing else.
That's your side, my bad.
There's nothing else, you stupid idiot.
He doesn't
There's
have
the
to.
LA one.
Yeah, I was about to say. I was about to say. I sent
There's
it.
this one.
I like that one.
What is going on in LA?
Riots,
They're
bunch of riots.
rioting in protests of the deportations of the illegal immigrants.
And this one, never send me that again, please. Ever. That's disturbing. But what
If
do you
I'm
think
getting
of-
my balls checked and
what do you
checked
think
on,
about
you-
what do
everybody
you think
else
about
is, dude.
Jinxie's reactions though?
that, oh, yeah.
What?
Caleb said.
Hang on, Mama, take your headphones off.
What'd he say?
I can
Earmuffs.
still hear.
Earmuffs. What are you getting your balls checked for?
No, hang on. Let me
Hang
see.
on.
You can put your headphones back on.
Hang on. I said him that and Caleb that. I told Caleb if I'm getting my balls inspected, everybody's getting their balls inspected.
No.
Wow. It's a crocodile Dundee. But nowadays, you'd be like, you ain't got no balls. Running around like Goku. Freaking the crap out. But yeah, there's riots going on, and my understanding of them is a bunch of people are rioting and burning down a city and looting and tearing stuff up and attacking people
second
because
time.
they don't want people to be deported because they're here illegally. But yet they're flying foreign nations' flags on our soil while causing chaos. I don't care if you're a citizen or not. That's treason. You should be shot on my soil because if you're going to tear stuff up and wave
That's
another
what I was
country's flag,
talking about.
if your country's so dadgum awesome, you probably shouldn't be so mad about them wanting you to go back.
And we were watching Cops. Please tell me why this guy fighting for so long, even after he got his tased, why they can't pull a gun out and put one in him? Why?
Because society no longer allows you to bear the
Run
consequences
once.
of your actions.
Run.
Did we break that camera? The light just went off. That's weird.
Which one?
That one.
It's not on that one. I don't know.
I don't care. You don't have to check it. It's just
Like,
odd.
okay.
I don't have to show
The
everybody, but I
whole
can check it.
stop. We're the police. Run on. Pop. He stopped.
No, that's the one that froze. I
If
told
not,
you.
then just shoot him in the leg.
okay.
That's gonna stop.
Shoot him.
somebody.
I don't care if he dies. You ran from authority. That was your choice.
Yeah, he's not wrong there.
I agree and disagree with that.
No, I don't care. Shoot them all.
Like, I think you should shoot him in the leg, but I think you should be able to use a taser a whole lot faster. We should bring back batons, but we should also,
Well, that's like the George Floyd.
yeah,
I was watching a video about how he was overdosing.
he died of fentanyl poisoning.
There was nothing, had nothing to do with the cop.
But it was a massive narrative. The Rodney King riots in L.A. What year was that, Mama? Look it up for me. But like the last time L.A. went all nuts that I remember, like in the 90s.
92.
Okay, good deal. But yeah, they showed the footage. They showed the last little bit of the footage of him getting beat by 4 or 5 cops. But they didn't show the 15, 20 minutes of just nuttery before that wound up that way. And it's like, why you got to be April 29th, 1992? But yeah, it was a narrative that was pushed by the media. Same thing with the George Floyd. That's in the LA riots right now. They're just desperate to find some picture that they can set off to show of how totalitarian Trump and the government is and start more riots. That's what they're trying to do, is start nationwide riots. They're looking for that perfect scene. But the problem is the only really good image now they're using is the guy with a Mexican flag, I think, on top of a car waving it with everything burning behind him. And it's like, that's not really a good image to push the narrative of America being the aggressors.
So, all these politicians, right, who were with this, siding with these people, right?
Mostly the Democrats.
Yeah, shoot them all.
Execution.
That's treason.
Execution style.
That's treason.
Now, see, I don't like if they go up for trial for treason and they get it, executed by the court system, that'd be fine. But they should you should be brought on charges, and everything you do should be investigated, because you are being treasonous against our country. If you are encouraging foreign citizens to attack people and to burn and loot, you
and
got
getting
problems.
mad because we're sending people back. That's treason
Well,
against our country.
They're also painting the narrative of, they're saying every one of them's a family person, and
I don't care.
I have mixed feelings. Like, if you're here illegally and you get caught, you go back. That's just point blank. But I have personally known a lot of people who are here illegally that fled terrible situations and actually made something of themselves.
But if you do it legally, I have zero issues with it.
But the problem is our system is broken both ways. Because, like, I've got a buddy of mine I worked with for years, and it took him close to 12 years to get his wife here legally. And a crap ton of money when he was already a citizen.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, he would go back down to Mexico and spend a couple weeks with her when he had time off, and she would visit when she could. But, like, it took him forever to get her here, and I think it was like $80,000, $90,000 by the time he was done. And it was like, this guy is here. He's paying his taxes. He's a good dude. Like, works hard, treats people right, not breaking the law. He's a citizen legally, and he's trying to get his spouse here. She should be able to get here a little easier. But that was him trying to go through the proper channels. I do not agree with come over here and marry an American, and as long as you're married, 5 or 7 years or whatever, then you get your citizenship. Because, like, I got people that I know that they've done that. Like, they were in love, and then, I don't know why they left me. Well, because they were just marrying you to get citizenship. Like,
yeah.
Duh.
Well, I mean, like, I don't know. Mexico's not the best place.
It's a
terrible place.
It's an absolute terrible place.
But,
and it's not that it's not the people. It's not the country itself, like the land, and like, it's a beautiful country. A lot of the people are very chill people. But the problem is the culture has gotten so depraved and so run by money. Well, it's like, that's where all the narco-terrorism and all the drugs and the government, that's why they're all in bed. It's money. But, like, they quit. They issue warnings to all employees when companies have to go down there and visit their facilities. I've known guys that have went down there for different companies, and, like, they've had escorts that were armed the whole time that the companies would pay for. And that's just to walk from the factory, like, a block down to the hotel. But it's because the country is just lawless. There is no law and order. And the people that make the rules are the ones that have the most guns and are crazy.
yeah.
And, like, that's what they're dealing with. And that's why the people half of them are fleeing here because a lot of the money they make is here. That's where a lot of the drugs come, and that's where all the, the activity comes from as far as where they get a lot of their cash.
Yeah.
So half of them are coming here criminally and funneling money and crap down there to keep fueling the destruction of their country. And then the half that are coming here that are fleeing it really don't have any power, any option to do anything. So they're trying their darndest to get out of that. And so, like, I understand why both parties want to be here illegally. One of them, it's to better their life. The other one, it's to better their life. They're just doing it for different reasons. But at the same time, if you're here illegally, go out. Now, asylum cases where people, like, different countries are being persecuted and this, and that, and the other, those should be looked at on an individual basis. Where are you being persecuted at? Why are you being persecuted? Like, if people are seeking asylum for, say we're being persecuted religiously.
Yeah.
Or the government's being too strict or blah, 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 whatever. It'd be like, okay, let's look at the history of the country. Where do these people come from? Where do they fit in? Like, the South African Christians right now that are, being fast-tracked on the asylum process. It's because they're being openly hunted and murdered by everybody around them. White farmers and white people in South Africa, in a lot of instances, are being systematically killed.
Yeah.
And no one talks about it. The media doesn't talk about it and everything. And it's a massive cover-up because it's white people being killed. But, like, they're being fast-tracked to come here, and the Democrats are freaking out. They were trying to, like, throw lawsuits against it, doing all types of stuff because they're like, we don't want them here. But yet, on the other side, a month later, they're encouraging people to burn down a city because, like, society is whacked. Because, I don't agree with both sides in a lot of situations.
They probably thought round 2.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I just don't. I think we should be able to kill more people.
I agree with you on that.
I'm a little bit more adamant about it, though.
Well, like, I don't trust any government. I don't trust any politician. I don't trust any of those people, but it's not because it's not because I don't like individually a lot of these people I'd probably get along with. Like, there's a whole, like, it's very hard to not get along with me. I'm pretty chill. But that doesn't mean that in your position and with your influence and the influence you have on you, I trust you.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of people that in the government that, and people think I'm a crazy conspiracy theorist, but I don't really care. But, like, a lot of the Masonic rituals and stuff like that, and a lot of the government is run by a bunch of crazy freaking Satanists. And even they're like, oh, I don't worship Satan, I worship this other being. It's like, if you worship anything other than God and Yahweh, you worship Satan. Sorry. And like the pedophilia rings, like, why the Epstein list? Half of Hollywood and most of D.C. should be sitting in jail right now from the Epstein list.
Well, they have money. And the Diddy party list.
Is that out
Yeah.
yet?
They won't release it.
I thought it was.
They will never actually release the names on those lists
Well,
because
when it is released, I think we should do.
he was a scapegoat, and I think there was a lot of other stuff that was fixing to come out, so they sacrificed him as a pawn, is what happened. But, like, that goes on. That is the currency of the world. That money you get's bullcrap. The real currency of the world is information.
Yeah.
Information and blackmail and control. How do you control anybody?
Money.
Really?
I mean,
Have
kind of.
something on them.
Yeah. I could offer you $1 million, right? To compromise this, moral, that, and you're a politician at this point, okay? So you have a mass amount of influence. So I'm going to give you $1 million. Like, what price am I going to have to get to that somebody else ain't willing to pay to have you go with their side, right? But what if I come up and I say, remember that party you was at? Them 3 girls I got video of you with? They're all 14. Do what we say or I burn you and your family. That is what happens. That's what the Epstein list was. That's what the Diddy stuff is. And that's been the currency of the world for many, many years. Blackmail and information and leverage is how you keep power. So, like, the problem is, because there's a lot of people that are like, well, we should know that, they should be screaming this from the rooftops. Everybody knows what's going on.
My favorite thing about the Diddy stuff is the Eminem and 50 Cent. Because, like, when Eminem, I think, if I remember right, was getting started, and you know how he was with 50 Cent, kind of, they were. Yeah. 50 Cent was basically like, stay away to Diddy, back off. I know what you're about,
Yeah.
And that's why they have their little, because, I mean, like, it's not like he's going to come up in either of their turf.
Yeah,
and
50
live.
Cent, Eminem's intelligent, but 50 Cent,
Well, here's the problem.
like his business
it's
and
not,
like actual logistical intelligence, dude's off the charts.
It's not like you're worried about Eminem necessarily. It's the fact you're worried about that Eminem and 50 Cent are friends and have been for a long time.
Uh-huh. But that's what I'm saying about 50 Cent. Like, he's kept a pretty decent profile. He doesn't have a bunch of bullcrap that you see. You know, everybody has some. But like when you listen to his business dealings, or like you listen to him talk about like some of the people under his record deals and stuff like that, like he does not care if people are more successful than him, because he's smart enough to realize that like if you're on my record label, I'm making money off you anyways. If you don't make money, I don't make money.
Yeah.
But he doesn't mind seeing other people's success.
Yeah.
A lot of the rappers are such, like, especially the ones that come from the like streets and gangster lifestyles, and like a lot of it's like just filled with that. But the problem is, you get this mentality of I have to be the best. Nobody can beat me. I got to be top dog. I'm the best of the best, and that goes into your
I see
career.
a lot of rednecks with that same mentality.
Yeah, but I mean that comes from every type of society. But it goes into your career where like you see other people's success, and somehow that looks bad on you.
I know you
If
don't.
you're supposed to be helping them, that looks good on you.
I know you don't know who Little Talk is.
Little what?
Yeah, exactly. But I like the video he talks about. He like he listens to his music, and he's like, I do not have any guns. This is all fake. He's like, none of this is real. He's like, I say I got hoes. I don't. I have one girlfriend. This is all fake. I do not get play.
I like Dave Chappelle's stand-ups when he's talking about, you know, like he's like, I like seeming like I'm from the ghetto until like I'm actually around people from the ghetto, and it's like I don't know what to do. It's like, and that's an appearance thing, but like that shows you how much, like how many of the influencers over the past 10 or 15 years have been exposed for like all their private jets and stuff, is them renting a jet on the tarmac for 20 minutes so they can take their pictures. And like,
I don't. There's always something. Like you got Hollywood, but the influencer, it always goes wrong.
well, yeah, because
It always messes up.
the whole goal is your image. Look at me, look at me, look at me, look at how awesome I am. That's like the social media post, like what people post on social media versus what they post, or you know what their real life is like completely different. So like you see so many people out there like envying other people's lives and crap from all the media
you just
crap they
can't
put out.
believe what you.
No.
I watch funny videos, stupid stuff, and I'll watch like gym influencers. But like
I mean,
a lot of them aren't really influencers because they'll talk about why they started going to the gym, what they're going to the gym for, you know, and you know now it's because of muscle.
They're
You know something changed.
they're still influencer. The problem is they got into it for a different perspective.
Yeah, they're not there. For
They
the
got into it
image.
saying, "Hey, look at what I've done with myself. You could do better." Like they want to share their success with the world and encourage the world to have success.
A lot of them try to encourage you too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're sharing your success, and your new goal is to say, I did something I never thought I could do.
I like
I've
the
achieved
ones
it. Let's do it.
Well, they'll put like an anime line over it.
If it's a good anime
Well,
line.
like you know, like let me think of one you'll know. I can't even think. Just think of any AOT Aaron line.
Okay.
Remember when he like starts yelling at Reinar and what's the other guy's name? Baratold.
Baratold.
You know, what the hell do you actually know? You know, he freaks out because they kicked in the wall. You know, they'll put like that over it, and it'll be like cuts of them working out, and you know, like improvement.
Hey, dude, a good music track with some motivational quotes when you're getting ready for anything. Or, and this is going to sound weird, a good, like, groovy jam band, like from back in the day, like the 70s and 80s, you know? Just a good groovy beat, like when you're fixing to, like, get on the mats and roll, like in jiu-jitsu, or you're fixing to go, you know.
I could listen to Snuff and be groovy.
Snuff?
Yeah. Slipknot.
I know.
So you know, like this is
I could listen to
ReZero.
that.
So you're like, that's cool.
Yeah. But you don't want to watch such and such show their new vacation home.
Don't give a crap about that. I follow video game accounts, and you think I want to see? Well, you think I want to see someone's home? Two
See, a lot of
Apex
my stuff is
streamers.
a lot of my crap that shows up is like ancient occults and modern occults and
Or like this guy. Hang on.
It's like how Malachi said, you can't believe everything on the internet. There's these Bigfoot vlogs. I thought that was real. Like, come on now.
dude, I'm telling you, they are real. That woman in Tullahoma got pregnant by a Bigfoot.
There's
Will you look up that news article?
By the way, it was a joke.
I know, but it was still hilarious because honestly, I know a lot of people from there, and I could believe a couple of them believe in that.
There's.
Are you over
good
there
ones.
watching motivational quotes again?
No, I like this guy. Hang on. I want to find a cool one.
You got to start being able to like give me the links to this crap so I can put it up.
Well, this is. How do you pronounce that name? Have you seen this guy?
Which one?
The top.
Jebran, I guess. Jebran.
I'll just play the top one. The pinned one.
Despite my family being so close, and they're willing to do whatever, but when you're in that headspace and you're in that dark spot, you feel alone. You feel like nobody's there, nobody cares. You feel like nobody.
That's what.
See, I don't really like the motivational stuff.
Yeah.
I like
Well-
sad stuff.
Well, the problem is the sad stuff is the most motivational. Like when in your life do you really get motivated to do something? Is it when everything is going good and happy and people are telling you you're awesome, or is it when like life's got you down and you ain't got no other option? It's either like head first against the wall and push till something happens, or you're gonna die. So like, why do you make weird faces like that?
That seems a bit extreme.
Me and Malachi are going to die if we don't get more freckles. I promise.
I'm too broke.
That's why you need more jobs.
No, that's why I'm
I do
saying
want more
somebody
freckles.
on the internet, please lend us.
Lend us some money.
No, don't lend.
Yeah,
Don't lend.
give.
Don't
Yeah,
lend.
if you
Give,
want,
give,
if you want to
give.
buy these
Donate.
boys motorcycles, that's fine. But if people
Donate.
buy y'all motorcycles, you two have to buy me mine.
Nah.
Yeah, you got to beg for your own.
It'll be under $6,000.
I could do
You're an
six.
adult, so
You
you're
are an adult.
rich.
Yeah, you're.
I'm an adult, so I'm rich.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
Oh
That-
my
that child
gosh!
mindset.
Boy.
All adults have money,
Oh,
except for like I never had that.
because we raised you with reality.
I
When
don't.
we were broke, we didn't look at our kids and say, "Well, we'll just get it tomorrow," or blah blah. We look at you and be like, "We're broke. You can't have that."
Or, guys, we have to eat, so we're not going to do that because we want to eat or
Not
pay
gonna
the
do what?
electric bill.
Or guess what? You don't get bread with your peanut butter and jelly. Shut up and eat it out of the bowl.
That's
Sometimes,
disgusting.
hard times.
I
They
mean,
happened.
But we were never like. We always ate. I'm not
Yeah.
really. I don't really care.
Yeah. We always
heck,
had,
I had more
we
money in
had
my
some-
pocket than you guys had in your pocket most of the time.
90%.
So I wasn't like worried about it. I remember. What was it?
Yeah, but see, we've raised our kids with such reality that, like, it's hard to admit as a parent, but like we've had times where like we were so tight that like a kid would come up to us and be like, "Hey, I got $200 and I'm going to buy groceries this week," and it's like you don't have to do that. And they're like, "I know I don't have to do that, and I want to do that."
I'd just be like, we're going to get pizza.
Yeah.
Come on.
Every time Malachi would get paid,
Yeah.
he'd be like,
Well, I got to
guess
be like,
what we're having for
"Pizza!"
dinner, guys?
Yeah. Hey.
But,
If I'm eating, we're all eating.
But I love that about you guys because, like, I know for the rest of your lives you will be generous to people in need.
Well, money's in a. I refuse to worry about money because I've seen what worrying about money does.
It makes you look 60 when you're 40.
Tess worries about money.
That hurts my heart.
I'm not 40 yet.
You said I look 60.
You guys
No,
worry
I'm
about
talking about
money
me.
a lot.
What'd you say?
You
I
guys
You're a
used to
hot
do-
60-year-old.
No.
That's crazy.
You know you have enough money, but as far as like everybody, when you spend a big hunk of cash, everybody, it kind of just like,
Oh, it always hurts.
like when you spend $400 on a phone, you're like, dang, and it takes you a minute, but then you're like, at the end of the day, it was worth it.
Yeah. Even if it wasn't, if you had to pay the stupid tax, did you learn a lesson from it?
Yep.
That's what
and
matters.
someone said, "Hey, I'll pay $100 towards it. I didn't get you a birthday gift." And then my other sister said, "Hey, I'll buy the phone case." My other sister said, "Hey, I have screen protectors that'll fit the same phone." So, I mean,
Yeah, but not many people are in the situation where they got like
Forced.
hella amount of sisters running around that are like, "We got you, Bubba. We'll get you anything you want. You want a unicorn? I'm fixing to go stab that horse in the head with a spike."
and like that's another thing is y'all never discourage spending our own money because that was our money.
Yeah,
Well, yeah.
we would talk.
There are-
we
there-
would talk to you and be like, think wisely about what you do. Like if you spend it, it's gone. We let you learn your lessons with money, but like, yeah, it's your money.
There are a lot of parents who will be like, "Oh, put it in your piggy bank. You can't spend that."
And all they're teaching them is nothing. They're
And
not
also,
teaching them
I
about
think-
money. Because what's the first time when you realized your bank account was empty when it wasn't supposed to be?
I was very.
But that lesson's a whole
remember
lot
that?
whole lot better
I
learned
was.
at 14, 15 than it is at 25 when you got rent due.
Yep.
But parents don't allow their children to make mistakes. They don't give them enough responsibility to learn the hard way because most of humanity only learns the hard way.
I don't know.
You've always been decent with money.
Not really. It burns a hole in my pocket.
Yeah, no, he's not.
Yeah,
But the problem is, I know I know when I need to save. and
That's
I
what I'm
don't- I
saying.
don't need to save.
That's
I'm gonna be rich. It doesn't matter how. Don't know how. I'm gonna be rich.
It doesn't matter how.
No, there will be money.
It does matter.
Yeah, I feel like,
Like,
it
okay,
does
nothing
matter.
illegal. It'll be legal, but I'm gonna be
yeah.
rich.
If the producer approaches you and he's like, "All you got to do is pretend like you don't like it," and you're like, "Trust me, I'm not gonna have to pretend and know $250,000 is not enough. Goodbye."
No, I will
It's
be
not
rich.
funny. He is,
I know a guy that happened to personally.
my son is a minor. That's not fun.
He just said he
Hey,
didn't care how. All right, we
20
was
bucks
just
is-
saying there is a limit.
$20
Hey.
is 20.
$20 is $20.
Absolutely not.
Had
Bros
to-
will come
The
up
right
so-
goth mommy, and I'm down.
At least you went. At least you didn't go gay.
I
That's
mean-
my boy.
I'm with Malik on that.
The
Hey,
right goth mommy, and
Mama-
I might have to get pegged.
Tasha, look over here at me. Tasha,
Uh-huh.
look at me.
I don't want to.
You are a pale skinned beauty. You are a goth.
I'm not.
She doesn't dress like a goth.
Not while y'all are around. Second y'all move out, it is straight up maids outfits and goth leather. I want a good corset and nothing else.
Please stop.
And that's for me.
You're wearing the corset and nothing else.
So you're the goth.
Oh yeah. I'm too tan. I'll have to spend some time
I
inside.
always tell people my plan is either to marry someone my age within a 2-year age gap, or I'm finding like a 30-year-old rich woman.
There's a lot of influences out there. They're going to be 30 and rich, and nobody's going to want them.
Including you.
Malachi's like, I got you. Your damage,
Right here.
your stupidity of your past has messed up your psyche and mind, but you got money. I'm your guy. That's
Well,
what
that's like we were
Malachi
talking
says.
about earlier.
What?
People always being so scared to commit.
Onto a relationship?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or scared to open up or let themselves like somebody. And like you don't even have to like anybody, just scared to, especially people will get what other people say to them. Oh, well, that's not going to work.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, you shouldn't really pursue that.
Well, that's what we've talked about that before, like me and your mama, like the amount of people in our lives that told us it wouldn't work because we were so young.
I think it's better to grow together.
But the thing that pisses me off is they're like, oh, well, they never make it. Look at these statistics. Look at these statistics. Why does everybody focus on the negative statistic? Like if you're looking at like young couples don't make it that often. 70% of people that get married before 18, like divorce it, whatever say. But that's 70%. You're going to be the 30%. You two got it. You can make it. If you need help, you come to me.
Why'd you point at me and Malik?
I'm just saying, like, that is how the younger generation needs to be treated. Like, when they want to get married young and do stuff like that, instead of constantly telling them they're going to fail at it, why don't you sit them down and have a serious talk with them and be like, hey, like, if you guys are serious, this is a long commitment, but, like, piss off on them statistics, you can do it. Like, quit being so daggum negative to everybody, and quit treating children like they're stupid.
I mean, some kids are stupid.
No,
Not all kids.
no.
I met some stupid
If
kids.
you get treated like you're an idiot, you're going to act like an idiot, and that's from 5 to 100. The problem with, like, if I go into a factory right now, you can go in it, you can see it. You've worked at factories, okay? When you got bosses that treat all their people like they're idiots, what happens?
They're idiots.
Almost every one of them's an idiot. But if you got bosses that treat their whole people like they're intelligent, even the ones that are usually idiots, their mistakes get less. Like, you've got to treat people with respect and kindness, regardless of what position you're in and regardless of what age they are. I've always tried to talk to you guys like you're adults and be able to reason with you. Like, there has been situations where it's like, you just got to do this because you got to do this. But, like, a lot of the conversations were not.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I talk to a lot of parents. I mean, okay, I'm 16, but I still talk to a lot of parents.
I know.
But I'm just saying for those guys I sound like some kind of like old dude, but I'm not. Who always talk about how their kids, oh, my kid's lazy. Oh, my kid won't do nothing.
Yeah, make them.
Well, I don't even the one particular. When you get woken up, is it waken or woken? Woken up, okay, at 7 a.m. and say we're rolling out, you don't. The reason your kid is lazy is because you give them that option of, oh, well, I'm not going.
Uh-huh.
Give them, I don't know, heck, you can give them 3 months of you get up, you come on. They'll be out of that lazy.
But the problem is they're trying to instill that in them when they're 14, 15, 16. Because now they're at the age that they can do something. They're now getting where they need to be trained. And it's like, no, you're too late.
Well, that's like I
You
was
knew by the time you were 4, if I come in there and say, get up, you got up.
I know that I was talking to someone about, how much money I make for Sandusky now versus when I started. When I started, I was what, 7?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I made $2 an hour.
And you were freaking ecstatic.
But I got $20 at the end of the day.
Fair enough.
I mean, I made money.
And you got to have a blast. You run equipment. You got to fool with goats and stuff.
I always got food.
You got to learn.
Yeah.
I think let your kid go with the random 20-year-old.
Don't say that.
Let your kid drive around with a 20-year-old.
No.
24/7.
Make sure
Come
you
on.
know this
Nah,
person.
Just if a 20-year-old comes up like, I'm gonna take your kid, let him have him.
No. Stop. Oh my gracious.
We also shipped our eldest to like another state with a random family, and we're like, you got this, go.
She was an adult and she became a nanny. It's not the same thing.
I mean, I'm just talking like, in this scenario, he was just as dumb as I was.
You were both learning together how to farm.
Yeah.
Also, Andrew, look at the camera.
Which camera?
All right, stop. That's
Which
weird.
one?
Stop. Okay.
Which camera?
Somebody had done something to one of our kids.
Oh, it'd be bad. I'm not going to describe what I'm going to do on here. The jury
Be
might
the
continue.
type of parent that if somebody is going to threaten your kid, you're going to make them wish that they had never existed.
Also, if you're,
But that's the predator thing.
I know.
When I asked them, like, which children did you go for? And, like, they could tell which children had weak parents. And, like, especially for you fathers out there, like,
or
be
just,
capable of violence at an extreme, because if you're not, you're weak. Like, be the type of father that if someone was to mess with your child, and make sure you have a relationship enough with your child that your child knows that.
or have a daughter who keeps a knife in her bra.
Exactly. You got a daughter that you're like, your daddy will always protect you, but daddy ain't always going to be there. Let me show you all the major arteries. Let me teach you how to make a shiv. Let me teach you how to break a neck. Let me show you how easy it is to take down a man when you start smashing his nuts or stick a thumb in his nose or start digging your fingers in his eyes.
You have some vicious children, though.
Because I made them that way. If you don't want to have your children be preyed upon, make them wolves.
The only one I'm worried about is Tess.
Yeah.
The only one that, like, truly just, like, you put yourself in some crazy
Yeah,
situations.
she puts herself in some crazy situations, and I do worry about her a lot. But I worry about her in the other ways too. She's the only one I worry about actually acting on her instincts and like
I think Curie's
cutting
the
some
most.
people up. She's the most balanced.
Angel's pretty balanced now, but I think it took her a while to get there. To just, I don't know if that makes sense, but just to. Angel's always been pretty level-headed, but she has a more of a temper than Curie has.
Oh yeah.
I think I probably have the worst temper out of all of us,
Well, naturally,
but
you're welcome.
I don't know. I find myself getting pretty mad about some stuff, but
But when you were talking about like let your kid go with a random 20-year-old,
What a random one.
hang on, let me finish. You're also looking at like the rural area that we're in and like the farm culture that I grew up in, and the way a lot of the people are is, you know, like I did the same thing. I was off working with random people at 8, 9, 10, 12 years old, but like I was taught how to handle myself. I was taught what to look out for. I was not lied to. I was with people that I was working with. I was with people that everybody had relationships with, so people knew them well. It, you know, always in like a lot of public places, or like even if he's out in the field, like I'm on a tractor doing 20 mile an hour. Come get me.
we were unloading a big freezer, twice the size of that one, right? I was like, man, don't drop this and kill me. And he was like, out of all the times I could kill you, like, I mean, we've been working together for who knows. He's like, why would it be right now? And I'm like, you know, that's a very valid
Is this
point.
before or after trying to rip his leg off?
This is after. This was like when I was helping his parents-in-law? No.
His in-laws.
His in-laws. Yeah.
Move.
That was like
Okay.
recently.
Okay, so like he could have snapped. You could have snapped back with him and like, oh, I could have been revenge for your leg.
Nah, I didn't. That was not my fault, and he knows it wasn't my
I feel
fault.
like it was your fault.
I still
I think it was cool.
I still kind of wish that we would have had like the image of him dangling from the house still when I got there.
No, he wasn't at the house when you got there.
He was in the recliner.
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I wish, like in my mind, you made it sound as if when I pulled up,
Oh yeah.
and like he's going to be dangling up, saying no, it's just a recliner. But like
yeah, because I got
talking
him
about that,
down.
like we let our son go with him because he was like he needed help and work, and people are like, well, what can a 7, 8-year-old kid do? You'd be surprised how much a 7, 8-year-old kid can do that can help you on a farm. Like if you can't, you need all the trash picked up, they get the trash picked up. You need help wrangling the goats, they can help wrangle the goats. Like they can do a lot of work and they're highly intelligent, but you got to treat them like you and give them an opportunity.
I think.
Yeah. Me and Ayla worked on my bike together.
And like you need that experience of working and doing and hands-on and problem solving. And a lot of parents won't let their children get that. They are so focused on their academic success that they don't realize that if they don't have that common sense and problem-solving skills learned through real work, they can be as book smart as they want to be and won't be able to find their way out of a closet.
Problem-solving skills from terrible explainers.
Oh my gosh. He has gotten better. Not much,
He's still pretty bad.
but he has gotten better.
I have to have him, like, especially when he texts me, I want him to show up at the same place and come show me. Because just like when I was bush hogging his field, he didn't show me where to go. He was like, over there, and just, don't go that way. And it's like, real specific. So, I did that, front area, and I was like, I'm not touching anything else, because you were like, don't do... What?
Yeah, but see...
What? Don't do that way? Oh, wow. Thanks. That's really specific.
Yeah, go for it. But think about his life. Most of the stuff he's done, he's been like, let's go do this. And they're like, people are yelling off all the like stuff that could go wrong. And he's like, well, I've already had half of it happen and I'm still going. So shut up. So he's like, yeah, just kind of wing it around there a little. You remember the rotors we pulled off his original 350?
You mean the ones me and him did?
No.
I remember one time, me and him got in his 350. We drove back to his road, right? We drove all the way back. We get there, and he's like, man, these brakes are acting funny the whole way back. And we took it off, and you could bend the metal.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. Y'all took them off, but he called me to come look at them because he's like, I want to know how like terrible this was. And for the mechanics out there, I grab hold of the rotor, and I do this, and a like paper thin sheet of metal comes off, and that is what is left of the rotor. Like, and I was like, yeah, bro, that's bad. And he's like, I was wondering why I was acting up, but like. He takes really good care of his stuff now.
Now he does.
I mean,
Well,
Wonder
and
why.
also like when you're farming and you're buying older and used equipment and you're trading around to keep like your equipment going, it's very hard to like.
I missed that property.
You can't buy a truck and then just do everything to it at once, especially when you're starting because you just don't have the money.
That was a cool property.
I don't know, man. I don't miss chasing cattle and goats all over us.
Well, no, I miss like okay, it had a cool. The goat barn was cool. That was a cool designed barn.
It was just an old barn.
Not that one. Not that one. The like one to the right, with the feed slots and
Oh, the really nice one.
yeah, that was a coolly designed barn. It was structural. I mean, that barn back there probably has fallen over at this point.
Yeah, it could be.
But I mean, even like you remember the chute we had behind the barn.
Yeah.
I remember one time when you remember that really stupid Billy we had. He had the really dumb one the one you shot at and would like.
Oh,
I don't even-
Goober.
I don't even remember. His
That
name.
was his name, Goober.
But I remember one time, I think it was that one. Angel was running the chute and it just charged at her. Angel grabbed that thing by its horns while it was running at her. That thing jumped over her head. She spun around with it and held that thing down.
Yeah. But you got to put this into perspective for the people. This is Angel at what, 12, 13?
No, way older.
She still couldn't been 110 pounds soaking wet.
Probably 119.
Yeah. About 120 pounds soaking wet, getting charged by a 135-pound Billy.
And you're looking at 5'7", 5'8"
Yeah.
She's 5'9".
now.
She's probably been 5'9" since she was 14.
I don't know.
Poor child.
She's always been tall. I've always been tall.
But
Heck,
yeah.
I was talking to someone at the person who's been helping me at work. I was like, I was joking. We were joking about something. I was like, yeah, I'm going to go take me a 30-minute smoke break, jokingly. And I was like, well, I wouldn't actually do that because that's illegal. He's like, how old are you? I'm like, I'm 16. He's like, oh, I thought you were 19, 20.
I mean, that's
Still illegal.
Well, he was, it'd be better.
it'd be better.
It would be.
At least you're an adult. You make your own choices. But that's,
he was,
I always
he's-
had that problem.
He's like, oh.
Oh.
Yeah, he was just like, oh, you know. I mean, that's like when we went to Florida 3 years ago. I couldn't have been 5'8". I mean, I wore boots, so I might have been 5'9", 5'11". But I come up with two energy drinks. One of yours, one of mine, and Allie got something. Oh, that's alcohol, you know. I think he thought it was Florida people. And I was like, and then he was like, oh wait, no, that's an energy drink. And he's like, oh, it's fine. Either way, you're probably 25. And I was just like, dang, I'm 14. No, I was 13.
But see, that's the.
I'm 13. Sorry about that.
I always had, but like for me, it wasn't a problem because they didn't really ID back then. They just looked at you. But like, I'd walk in the store and buy a couple cases of beer, a few things of vodka, and like some cigarettes at 13, 14 years old. And like, no one ever questioned me. Like,
See, but that's the
And a lot
difference
of it's-
between your and my generation.
a lot of it's how you carry yourself too, though. Because I've had a lot of people flat out tell me, like, I wouldn't have guessed you nearly as old as I did, but you carry yourself like you just don't give a what anybody thinks about you. And I'm like, I don't know if that's good or bad, but like, okay.
Very good.
I got asked if I
Cool.
was a stoner.
Are you
at
stoner?
work. I was like, I wish.
I wish.
That's the difference between your generation and my generation, though. You can't do anything anymore.
You can't drive the back roads and drink. Like, come on now.
Well, I was just stupid.
They're not.
I never did that.
You know, you can't. I mean, like everything's on here now.
Uh-huh.
You know, you
But
can't
not
have
only-
field parties and just not. You can't just leave and say, "Hey, mom, I'm going to my friend's house," and they literally can't know where you are.
I don't track your phone.
I know, but you know, like you still could text me
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
or call me, and if
You
I'm in the
don't
middle, if
answer,
I'm at a
but-
party, if I'm at a party and I answer the phone, you know, it's like, you know,
Obvious.
yeah, you don't have that.
Well, like my mama's rule was, as long as she knew where I was at by bedtime, I was all right. And this was like from a young age. So like, you know, yeah, I could just call from some payphone and be like, I'm going to be at such and such's house. She'd be like, okay.
See, exactly. And how would she know where you were at?
But then sometimes she would also show up to where I said I was going to be at like 5:30 in the morning on like a good hot late July, right?
Very specific.
You just drank 3 cases, a jar of moonshine, and a fifth of vodka the night before and partied in the field all night. She picks you up at 5:30, puts you in the car, takes you, and has you dig holes and build a deck in red clay all day and never says a word because she knows. I'll make sure he knows better. And I didn't know better, but I knew not to drink that much anymore if I thought she had a chance of picking me up. But like, yeah, Mama knew how to punish you without, like, sometimes she'd beat the crap out of me, and she did a lot because I needed it. But like, sometimes her punishment was all psychological.
Yeah.
She just mess with you, and it's like, please don't hurt me.
I'm sorry.
Don't break my mind, woman. Like, good woman, but she was a tough disciplinarian. But I mean, like, the thing is too, a lot of your generation, I don't see them even having the fortitude to make it to the field party.
What do you mean?
I used to go to places to where we would go hump DJ equipment for 5 miles into the freaking woods and set up generators to have field parties. I don't see a lot of your generation having the drive to go through that much work just to have a party when they could all sit around and laugh and watch videos on their phone anyways. Like, I don't see you guys needing to seek that level of entertainment and going to great extents and heights to do it, because you got so much addictions to this. There's so many of your generation that even if they had, you know, the opportunity to do that, could you get enough people? Tell me right now that you could send out a notification and in less than 48 hours have 500 people, all of the party equipment, all of the party stuff and supplies in a field, and have 500 people show up.
I don't know. If
Your generation is weak because you have had
Y'all
it easy.
got it that way.
They're different.
But what it is,
Y'all made it that way.
I didn't make it that way.
Did-
Y'all's
did
generation.
Did I invent this son of a gun?
Y'all's generation made us weak.
Think about
what
finances though,
happened.
like how much it takes to have that equipment compared to what it took to have that kind of equipment in our day.
In some instances, yes. In some instances, no. But the problem is you do have to look at the economics.
Yes.
Because, like, even early 2000s, you look at early 2000s, you could throw, like, a major field party with about $5,000-$6,000. Like, the same party now would probably cost you $25,000-$30,000.
Well,
And your wages ain't went up $2 in that time.
like I said, y'all's generation made it that way because y'all did it.
It made it harder for us to do it.
No.
So y'all
No, 'cause
said,
generations
"Oh,
before ours
I
were
don't
doing
really
it
want
too.
my kids doing that."
And I was
you know-
never that
Do you know why their
Generation just
generations mostly don't, though?
FYI. But
We didn't make it that way for you guys. You guys intentionally beg for the one thing that makes it to where you can't get away with that stuff.
Phones.
If when mama and daddy said, you want a phone when you're 12, 13 years old, you said, no, I don't need one of those. You want to sneak out and not get caught? Don't have a freaking phone in your pocket. If your parent ain't used to checking on you all the time because they can constantly get a hold of you, you can get away with a lot more. And our generation, your parents couldn't check on you. They opened the back door. You went out on a 500-acre farm in the morning. This was when I was a kid. Like, I loved that place. And, like, we'd go play all day. You didn't know where we was at. You could come looking for us in one of the trucks, or but it's going to take you a while to find us. We may be anywhere in 500 acres.
Yeah, but I feel like that has more to do with how you were raised and where you were raised. Because, like, that's how my parents grew up, but that's not how I grew up, because I grew up in a city where you couldn't do that.
But you couldn't do that. But how many of the city kids all over the neighborhood run all over the neighborhoods and play together?
A little bit, like, by the time, like, from 10 to 12 when I moved here, I did do some of that. Like, I would walk around the neighborhood, and I had a few neighborhood friends, but...
You were also very bad at getting caught.
Huh?
You
I
didn't.
wasn't trying to do bad stuff.
That's what I'm
I was
saying.
a good kid.
Like you were such a good kid that like anytime you did do something, like you were so guilty it was going to get found out.
I didn't want to do bad things.
How did you wind up marrying me?
You're hot.
You were like in such a bubble. She got married to me, and then like some of the first parties we had at the house, she's like, but the thing was, my wife, her whole marriage has been one of the best hostesses that any man could ever wish for in a wife. Because like I would run into random people that I hadn't seen in a while, and you might have 20 guys there on a Friday night having a grill competition, seeing who could make the biggest freaking burger. And we're like, the limit is 3 pounds for one burger. Make the patty however you want. It all has to stay together, and it has to go on the bun. And they're like, we can't find buns that big. And my wife's like, I'll make buns. And just jumps in there and makes custom beer bread buns for us, And she's 17, 18 at this point.
I loved being a homemaker.
And she would just jump right in there and make sure everybody's taken care of. Like if everybody was too drunk, she made sure everybody got to bed or got home or didn't drive. Even in later years, like when we quit partying and stuff, but when people would come up, like she always made sure people had food. I went and picked up people in the middle of a city at 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning, and got them and a person at home, and like she can tell they're hungry. Like she has gotten up when she's had to work the next day, and like just made food for people because it's like she can see that they need it. So like I've always had like an incredible hostess as a wife, but like I still don't understand how she could. Because, like, they would just be you. Like, you would be the only girl. Most of the time, it would just be you and me and a whole bunch of my musician buddies and drinkers.
I don't know. I like to cook.
You do like to cook.
And back then, like, before we had a house full of kids, like, what else was I going to do? I didn't drink. I didn't want to party. I loved you. I loved being around you. And that was how I got to be around you.
Listen to that, ladies. Keep that. Because there comes a point in a man's life when he acts the same he did when you started dating and first got married, and you realize your husband hasn't changed a bit. But then he doesn't know why you're mad at all, because you used to just sit around and doe-eye him when he acted like this, and now you hate everything about his being. You don't really?
Everything about
Hang on. You don't really, but that's how it presents to him when you fuss at him about the things that, like, he's like, you used to love this. Also, remember that while you're dating, ladies and young men. If you've got something you see in them that you think, oh, this is adorable.
There comes a point when
imagine
it's not as adorable.
seeing it a million times for the next 15 years and it still being adorable.
But also, don't forget, it's supposed to be fun. Dylan, Malachi, when you get married, it's supposed to be fun. When you have a girlfriend, it's supposed to be fun. It's not supposed
Probably
to be
never
torture.
gonna
It's not
happen for
supposed to
either
be
of us.
painful. It's
10 years, Malachi.
supposed to be fun.
We don't talk about that.
So why do y'all keep saying that?
Why do we say that?
Because it's true.
Dylan,
I'll tell you later.
are you trying? Are you trying it all, Dylan?
Huh?
To get a girl?
See, there's so much difference between in trying
Yeah.
it all from your generation. When Papa was a teenager, all you had to do was walk through school and find somebody when you were a teenager, all you had to do was walk through school and find somebody would date you. But there was no complicated. There was no,
What are you talking about? There was no complicated.
There
it's
was
just
plenty
a
of
different.
We come from one of the most emotionally f***ed up generations there ever
Did
was.
your generation post themselves twerking on TikTok?
Only because we didn't have the ability.
Exactly.
Fair. That's actually fair.
But you didn't have the ability.
We had camcorders, and we would take Polaroids, and then we would get caught with those. But it's hard to make 1,000 copies of a nude and send it instead of just going click. That's what I'm saying. Your generation has enslaved itself to this device that has also like allowed you to do so much more weird than we did, but also not get away with some of the same stuff that we did. Like, how many parents have you known, or kids have you known, that they have Life 360 on their phone?
I know one.
A lot.
I know one. I just know one.
I know a lot.
It freaks me out.
I know some that their dads will refuse to get it, but their mom wants them to get it. But I think, like, in my head, I'm thinking,
I do like that our daughters
They
who-
share their
who,
locations.
share their location when they are like going on a first date and
But-
things with
but
each
they
other
do it in specific situations.
to be safe. But
I never share my location.
well, hopefully you're safe when you go out on first
If
dates.
Dad would
and
let me put a gun in
you
my
don't
truck,
go on first dates with murderers.
Yeah. Why won't you let it put a let it put a gun in your truck?
Because times have changed, Dylan.
Time
it's-
they
if-
all change.
who's gonna find the P20, the 20?
P20.
What is it called? What is it called? No, it's
It's a Walther P22.
yeah, P22.
You're going
I was gonna say yeah. Who's gonna find that under my passenger seat?
Why does it need to be there?
Just in case.
Why
I-
is it? Why
that-
is
see,
it
I
I
under?
don't trust people.
The problem is, I agree with you, but then I also don't want to be sitting in jail because the government doesn't. I mean, I carried a gun for most of my life.
I
Exactly.
can carry one now. I forget about.
I think everyone should have a gun in their car.
I trust you with a gun more than I would a lot of adults. But that's also because I raised you. I've been around you. I've went shooting with
That's
you.
why.
I
That's
taught you
why I
gun
don't.
safety.
That's why I don't go to the rifle range at 4-H camp.
I would
Why?
love to
Oh
move
my
to the town,
gosh.
but it is a requirement.
It's so stupid.
I've never been down to the rifle range.
Well,
What do
like
they do
okay,
there?
it's not like
I walked down there and looked at it. That's it.
it's a nice setup. The benches are nice, but holy
How many
safety
yeah,
glasses,
Yep.
earmuffs.
There it is.
The guns have to be locked down. You know that makes sense. Lock the gun down. These are elementary schoolers, right?
Yeah.
Holy! Don't go across this line. Don't sit down until he says you can. Don't touch that beanbag until he says you can. Don't touch that block of wood until he says you can. It's like this poor guy has to sit out here and call 300 different freaking call signs just for you to sit at a chair and shoot 422 bullets real quick.
But that's for
It
insurance
makes
purposes.
sense, not just for insurance purposes, but that's a lot of kids who haven't been brought up with gun safety.
It doesn't matter.
We
You sit in a seat. You should not get yelled at.
range you, Malachi. Andrew, how did your papa teach you about gun safety?
He put a milk jug in front of a watermelon. I think I was like, God, I couldn't have been 6 or 7. And he just blew that watermelon all to pieces with a 30-06, which is the same 30-06 I have in there. But and he looked at me and he goes, "That's your head or someone else's head." And I was like, he's like, "Yeah, guns are cool, or like, guns are, for hunting and stuff, and, target shooting, they're fun, but they're also extremely dangerous." And it was like, check, mental noted. And like, that was it. Like, it was like, if I'm going to point that at something, I'm going to expect it to turn like that watermelon did. So I better make sure I want it to turn like that watermelon did. This is also the same guy that put his gun to the floor one time because he thought it was unloaded and he was just decocking it. And he blew a hole in the floor.
Heck,
But then one time he was looking out the window and he was sighting in on a bird and like kept sighting in on the bird and stuff. And like he thought he had raised the window because he had a rest right by his window that overlooked all his ponds, so he could shoot the birds, trash birds off of them. and like he just pulled the trigger and just blew the window up. So, you know, you gotta. I say that to note that it doesn't matter how long you've been around guns, how safe you think you are, how long you've done any type of work. Like, teach children to be responsible. They'll be responsible most of their lives, but also don't fault them so terribly bad when they make mistakes.
And
Like,
dual wielding is a whole other technique you have to learn.
if you want to be accurate with it, especially.
Well, I still got the scars.
Scars?
Ah,
From what?
When I dual wield the 1911s.
How did you cut yourself?
slide.
Yeah, the slide. This one came back. No, yeah, this one came back and got through the fingers. Yeah, I was shooting way too close to.
Buddy.
I had to aim. I had to aim,
Brother.
I knew a guy got his like, piece of his thumb caught in the slide on a Desert Eagle 50.
Mm.
And so when he finally got it to click, it rode up and it come down and just sliced it.
Yep.
Dangerous. Big old freaking guns.
I want to shoot one. I
They're
saw
a
one.
blast to shoot, but like, good gracious. It's a hand cannon.
It's
is
kind of
what it
like
is.
when like sawed-off shotguns.
Yeah.
Like, why would I want to shoot that?
It's also very illegal, but
Yeah.
hey, it's okay.
I shot a 10 gauge. That was a 10 gauge pistol one time. Double barrel, fired both at once.
Heck yeah.
And like I shot it one handed because it was a pistol, and like it, and this is like me at 325, 330 pounds of farm muscle, like, and it still, like, it hurt me. Like,
Yeah.
wrist, arm, and all was sore. It's like, holy crap.
I want to shoot a judge.
Don't stand next to it. If it's got the bird shot in it, you are peppering everybody in this radius. Just right here, right? The people downrange and these guys. I standing next to a buddy of mine, brought his over to shoot, and like every time he hit the bird shot, I'd be like, "What is going on?" And like, it wasn't enough to hurt you because it's coming out the side, but yeah, it just peppered the piss out of you the whole time.
I think that'd be fun.
Mama,
Mm.
where we at?
What do you mean? Time wise? Oh, gracious.
Yeah, I figured
we
'cause-
were.
yeah, we started a little bit before 7.
You just haven't.
probably like,
said
well, hang
anything.
on. It's an hour and 50.
Oopsie.
What's
20.
that?
Hour
22.
and 20.
Hour and 22?
That's not bad.
That's no, yeah, that's now. If she'd have been like, it's 4 hours and 45 minutes long, I'd have been like,
Holy.
there's going to be 3 hours and 22 minutes of alien abduction to where we're all just froze and then we float in the air and come back,
I can do that.
which would be pretty cool to catch on camera. But
What can you
They're
do?
smarter than that.
yeah, lead us out.
Like, subscribe, follow, share.
Mhm,
Don't do any of those. I don't care.
Mhm. Listen, Bob Dylan.
Yeah, I like Bob Dylan.
Always with the Dylan.
Or listen to Frank Ocean.
Sure, and I hope you enjoy. I got a